Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is August 18th, and right now we're looking at the infrared satellite imagery. You can see the monsoon moisture streaming across the region. Looks kind of menacing, but if you look closely, we really don't have any lightning strikes associated with this yet. This could change towards the afternoon, especially across the Cascades of Washington and Oregon. Later on in the forecast here, we're going to look at some new fall and winter data we have here in the long-range forecasting, so stay tuned as well. Now looking here, visible satellite, look at all these clouds moving across western Washington, Oregon. This is going to play some tricks on the high temperature forecasting today. We were basically a lock to break that record high if we stayed cloud free for Seattle, for example, today. But with these clouds moving in and out, it might make it more of a challenge. Same thing goes for the Tri-Cities area there too. Now, if we look here, you can see the heat advisories, excessive heat warnings still exist, tropical moisture enhancing some of this monsoon activity across the southwest. Looking at the Spokane graphics, they do a good job updating these every day. They're talking about some thunderstorms potentially next Mondays. We do have a system approaching the coastline. We'll take a look at that in some detail here, talking about August ends hot as well. Now looking at Pasco here, 104 yesterday, probably similar today. Could get close to this 106 if the clouds stay away. It's going to be close, getting to that all-time daily record high there. And yeah, so the high clouds are going to really make a big difference today. Seattle 90 yesterday. And again, if the clouds stay away a bit today, we're going to break that all-time record high of 88 for August 18th here. Now looking at here, thunderstorm threat, they show it does exist across the Cascades of Washington, Oregon. Same thing for tomorrow. And then as we go on into this graphic here, you can see isolated dry thunderstorm potential all the way through the Washington Cascades, north of I-90 towards Highway 2. And that includes much of Oregon as well. Medford, Eugene, Clips, Portland, includes much of eastern Oregon also. So now looking here, this kind of shows the precipitation amount, 6 hour on the European. Shows some storms popping up, possibly along the Cascades here, maybe the upper elevations here of British Columbia through the evening hours. And then as we go through Friday morning, you can see this kind of feature moving across the Washington coast, Vancouver Island towards southwest BC. And then you can see that extends some thunderstorms across British Columbia there. And now we're watching this next system out here. You can see it spinning up and eventually come towards Washington and Oregon and really spawn a potential for some thunderstorms across the Cascades. A little bit more organized here. And for eastern Washington, we'll continue to watch that system as it moves through the area here. This would bring a couple rounds of convection with it, mainly east of the Cascades. Now looking here, this is 700 millibars. I want to kind of pinpoint the system moving in tomorrow morning. You kind of see that upper level low here spinning through the area, which could spawn some convection. You really can't rule out many places north of Portland for getting a thunderstorm at this point. But again, most people are probably not going to see a thunderstorm out of this, but there's probably going to be some lightning associated with some of this activity as it goes across Vancouver Island towards southwest BC. Now looking at the HRRR, this is a 12Z. It's kind of showing some lightning. The signal isn't that strong, but it didn't do a great job there. And then as we go on in through Friday morning, though, it's been showing this for a couple of days now, this activity along the Washington coast here. You can see a pretty good signal for that convection moving through with that upper level low and even clipping some of the Puget Sound, Olympic Mountain, southwest BC also as we go through the day. Friday into the afternoon, you can see that potential exists for the North Cascades as well on into eastern British Columbia. Now we're taking a look a little bit further out. Here's North America. There's the ridge that's bringing us our warmth now. I'm going to cool down a bit Friday. Upper level low will move through, maybe a little convection across northwest Washington here. And then the system out here is what Spokane was talking about for next Monday, potentially bringing some thunderstorms a little bit more organized across the region here. And then we go start building this ridge through our extended here. But in the European here, yesterday afternoons, this ridge builds a little bit further west and would allow a little bit of troughing to move down on the back side of that. And this would keep us from building a full-fledged heat wave across the region. But these models have been in great flux here with the position of some of these ridges. So we'll just continue to watch that at this point. Okay, here, the GFS 12Z, 500 millibars. There goes our warm conditions, and we get our onshore flow. Upper level low moves through tomorrow morning, and there goes the system for Monday that Spokane was talking about, potentially bringing some more organized convection across the region here. GFS is a pretty good agreement with building this Pacific ridge out here, and it doesn't really show, it shows this trough coming down much later in the period. So you can see the pretty good model disagreement, but they do generally agree on the ridge position here out over the Pacific Ocean. So really, we have low confidence at when the heat would be coming next week. Now look at this. I think the Europeans a little bit out to lunch. I don't think we're getting to 95 with the clouds around today for Seattle. More like upper 80s. We could still break the all-time record high. I wouldn't be surprised if we touched 90 today at SeaTac. You can see Tri-Cities 105 might just fall short of that all-time daily record high. Staying warm through the period here. You're still above average all through early next week here, according to the European. Here's the drought monitor here. This is August 16th on the left, August 9th on the right. You can see a little bit of drought increase across eastern Washington, but not many changes otherwise across the area. Now, taking a look here, this is for January, seasonal temperature outlook, August 18th, 2022. You can see just the Pacific Northwest, really, and portions of Montana and maybe North Dakota below average here. So that signal still exists here out into the extended forecast. So cross your fingers there, snow lovers. This is for February, showing this. Maybe we'll get another February snowfall here across the Pacific Northwest. Keep your fingers crossed. And this is for March, too. It still has that signal for some below average temperatures. Now, this is kind of interesting, too. Here we go, November, seasonal precipitation outlook. Again, issued August 18th. November, we're already very rainy here across Pacific Northwest. So an above average signal is, kind of a big deal here. That means quite a bit of precipitation is forecast here in the extended. This is for December as well. We're wet already. Above average signal, again, showing up there. So, yeah, enjoy these warm days while they can. I say that, and some people get kind of frustrated with that, and they want the heat to go away. But when the winter comes around, we have plenty of time to deal with our cooler temperatures here. So another warm day today, then we're going to start to cool down the area a bit tomorrow, and then potentially bring another round of heat next week. But there's still great uncertainty with that. There doesn't look like a giant heat wave coming at this point, although there is still that potential for it. So we'll continue to monitor that coming up here. So we'll also continue to update Thunderstorm Threat. We'll talk about that a little bit more tomorrow. And, I may actually go out and chase some of those thunderstorms tomorrow morning. If the signal looks really good along the Washington coast, I may go out there and try to get some lightning strikes tomorrow morning. And if I do, maybe I'll even do a live feed. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, we'll watch that next system coming up Monday across the region here. Could spawn some more organized storms across the Cascades, eastern portions of Washington, Oregon, British Columbia as well. So hopefully you guys are liking these videos. Check back on Twitter, Seattle Weather Guy, for updates during the day. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.